This video sponsored by Meeple Movers. No minimum order, no subscriptions. Free shipping on every item, every day. At meeplemovers.com.
Hello and welcome to Brian's Got Game. I'm Brian. Today I've got a game called Trapwords. Trapwords is a 4 to 8 player party word game published by Czech Games. In this game there are two teams each trying to reach the room with the monster in it and defeat it. To do this, the teams will take turns trying to guess a word that someone on their team is trying to get them to guess. The clue giver can use as many words as they like, however, the opposing team has selected a few words as traps. If the clue giver says one of the trap words, the team fails to move forward. The monster has a special rule that applies to only the team attempting to win. These generally make it more difficult to guess. Some rooms have curses in them, which are fun and silly things that the giver has to do. So let's check it out, and I'll show you how to defeat the vampire, how to overcome a phantasmal snake, and how to avoid the traps in Trapwords. To set up, place 5 dungeon tiles on the center of the table. So I'm going to start with 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And something I noticed is that they kind of get in increasing hardness. So there's a 1, it's just a room with some barrels. Then there's 2, and it's got a maze on it. 3 is a bridge over a crevice. And 4 is a room with like this monster in the center. 5 is this crazy. And they just get harder. And then there's also an 8 and a 9 on the back of these tower, and then this crazy path through lava. So I thought that was really cool how the art does that. Alright, then we're going to take our monster, and we're going to be playing with the vampire. So normally you do that by shuffling these and randomly picking one. We are going to use the vampire. So I put the face down there. Then we're going to shuffle the curses and put a curse on the second room and a curse on the room with the monster, the 4th room. Yeah. Okay, then we're going to place the word cards right there, and then we're going to take our books. So you play with one set of the books for normal words and one set of the books for the fantasy words. These are the fantasy books. We're going to use those ones. Then we have these torches. You're going to give one each player who's the clue giver for each team. You take the 2 team markers and put them on the starting space, and give each team a pencil and one of these pads. I'm only going to use one, so I can play this game as many times as I can, and then put the timer there. So let's make this a little nicer. There's a book, there's a book. I'll set this over here. You are now ready to begin. Okay, so each team takes one of these cards, and you're going to put the side that everybody was just looking at right there on the side with the shiny thing. Then you're going to flip that over, and then your team will look at this word. It is frost. Same thing happens over here. So they're going to take this, put it on like that, close it, and I'm not going to show you what that word is. All right. So then you're going to give clues. So each team would rip that out. Then you fold it along this dotted line. So it's like that. Fold it in half. Then you start under here. So right here, you're going to take your pencil. And so this is right here. The time is, we're in the 3rd room, and then our word is frost. So right there. Then we're going to think of some trap words for frost. So we could do like ice. We could do cold. No, we only get to do 3 trap words because we're in room 3. So we need to come up with one more. Ice, cold, what else is frost? Then frost can go on like a window, so let's do window. Window. Is that right? Okay. Okay, so those are our trap words. Normally this would be up so the other team can't see what they are. Then you close it, and simultaneously the other player, they have another one of these papers, and they're writing theirs in here. So then you're going to swap. So then only the person with the torch gets to see this, so the word's frost. So then they start giving clues. You say 3, 2, 1, flip the timer, and then you're going to give clues to frost. So you'd say like, let's say dew, freeze, and then what you're saying these words or sentences, and the other players are trying to guess what it is, and the guessers can't get this. So if they said one of the clues was ice, or no, one of the clues that we just said was freeze. So if one of the guessers said ice, that doesn't trigger the trap. Now if this person said cold, then we'd say stop. You said one of our trap words, and then you wouldn't move. Now if this team says they guess frost, then yep, it was frost. So then that team would get to move up one. They're the blue team, so the blue team would move up. So then here I'm going to start. Now it's the other team, and I'm going to start giving clues. Fighting, arena, lion.
Gladiator.
You said gladiator if you couldn't hear, and that was correct. Now, arena was probably a trap word. So if arena was a trap word, they'd say after I said arena, and then my team would stay here. All right, so then that was that round. So then we get rid of these cards that are in these books. Then we get more books, and then we play the next round. Now you write in this section, but before we move on, we flip the card over. This is the phantasmal snake. If you hiss, the snake will bite you. Your clue giver cannot say words that begin with S. So, when I had gladiator, I said fighting, arena, and lion. None of those started with S, but if I had said sword. If I had said sword, that would have violated my curse. Though this is open, so you get to see what it is. And then after that round, it goes away. So if on this next round they fail and I move forward, that doesn't stay there. It's only the first time. So let's say that this round we both fail. What would happen is the monster moves forward, so that means that moves forward and that moves forward also. And then we both move, we both have to do this curse. This curse is echo. Your clue giver must repeat the ending of each word he or she says. That at sounds weird here. So, that at, could, that could be really crazy. And then, say my team goes forward, and now we're in the room with the vampire. This is the monster, and that never goes away. So this is, your team can make as many guesses as they want, but guessers cannot trigger, no, they can trigger traps. So normally you can only have 5 guesses per round. But now we have as many as we want, but we can trigger traps. So over here when we had frost and we said freeze, if we said ice, that triggers the trap word. So it makes it harder when you're fighting the vampire. Some other ones for the monsters, the troll is the clue giver can say no more than 5 words. The dragon is you can only make 3 guesses instead of 5. And there's also harder versions of each one. So this one, vampire, vampire asterisk. So this one is your opponents can list 2 extra trap words, and it's the same thing as the last one. So they get harder. And then the harder version of the dragon is that you only get 1 guess instead of 5. So they just change it up a little bit, make it harder. So after your team wins a round with the vampire in the room, you win. If both of you are in the room and one of you defeats it, then that team wins. If both of us defeat the vampire, then we share the victory, and if none of us do it, you play again. So that's how to play Trapwords. Okay, I've got my dad here for a parent's opinion. So Dad, what do you think of Trapwords?
I thought Trapwords was a fun word game. It's a little bit like, fantasy or dungeon-themed taboo.
Yeah, pretty much. You pick birds that are traps, and then if the clue giver says it, uh-oh.
Yep. Yeah, one thing that I liked probably the best about it is that the closer you get to the monster, the more traps the other team is setting for you. So it's kind of a catch-up mechanism.
Yeah, that is cool. So components, it's got the paper pads for you to write on. Comes with the pencils, and then the different boards, and then different stands for each monster. That's kind of a bonus.
Well, there's one stand. There's just many monsters.
Oh,
because you only ever have one monster.
Yeah, so different monster pieces for each monster.
Yeah, and then the little cards. Yeah, I guess you could have a generic monster piece.
That's what I thought at the beginning.
Yeah. No, it is kind of cool that they threw in the extra characters.
And then the different teams.
The rooms are also double-sided. There's, it suggests you start with room 3. But if you flip a couple of them over, you can start with just 1 if you're playing with maybe a younger group. And then if you're playing with... It
gets up to like 9.
9 if you're playing with cutthroat wordsmiths.
Yeah, that could be really crazy. So artwork. The artwork is awesome on this. There's artwork on each of the different dungeons. They're all different. They all have cool little like paths through it. It's cool. And then the box art is awesome. And then art on all the cards. You've got your Phantasmal Snake and
the troll and the dragon and the mummy.
Yeah.
Oh, and then the cards. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Each card, like there's, I forget, Echo, the Wave, and the Flood or something like that.
That's cool. All of the different art on all the cards. But it's a word game with a dungeon theme, so there's not a whole lot of art.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it really is.
And the art that is there is really good.
Those books are cool, though. Like,
oh, yeah.
Because there's...
Oh, we forgot about those in components. There's these really, really cool books with the little slits cut out. So if you use this colored book, then it does all the fantasy things, like dungeon, dragon. But if you other ones, there's like television and cream or something.
Yeah, so the word, I mean, you can kind of be looking at the top card, but you're going to put it in such that you're looking on the bottom, and then whatever book you're using, you're going to use, 4 different sides. And so it's kind of cool how they made that.
Yeah.
You can flip it around, turn it around, and you're only ever seeing the one, and then adds some replayability to it.
Yeah, and it multiplies the amount of words you can have on each card because they're double-sided. There's like 6 words on each card, 6 or 7, or maybe it might be 5. 5 to 7 words on each card, and then there's a ton of the cards, so there's a lot
50.
of words. Yeah. So strategy. There's a couple things you can do in picking the trap words. So you could pick the normal ones, like we had one that is jet. So some of our trap words were plane and fighter. One I thought of was air. So you try to get them to guess that.
Or you could say jet, stream. So you could put stream in there. So, I mean, you're talking about strategies. It's really how well you know the people on your team.
Yeah.
As with word games, if you have somebody that you have some mental connection with, I mean, you're going to do better. But yeah, you kind of need to steer clear of the obvious, which makes it harder on the clue giver, and which just adds to the fun of playing the game.
And you can also, like, giving the clues, the other player thinks that you're going to do the obvious clues and the obvious trap words. So then you could do obscure trap words.
Well, right, yeah, you're second guessing, outguessing the other team.
A couple of different crazy things. I was really good at that the first time we played. I came up with these crazy trap words that always got them. Not so well the second time. All right, easy for kids. So we played it with Lincoln, and he got it. He pretty got it. He wasn't. I don't think we let him be the clue giver. Did we?
He didn't want to. He did it the very first time we played. So I think you can play with younger kids. I mean, it's a team game. They can be part of the team. They can be guess. They can help guess. They don't have to be the clue giver. But I mean, if you had a team of younger, I mean, if your whole group was young, then that would be fine. But it does get a little bit harder. We played, I guess the original time we played when we had some friends over, we were half of the people were kids. Yeah. And we stepped on a lot of traps.
And what you said before, it is kind of friendly because you can make the number of traps you make lower. Like you said, it goes down to 1. And then if you're playing with older age levels, you can make it up to 9.
That's true. I didn't think about that. So if you were playing with younger kids or have people on your team that aren't that good at word games or whatever, you can start with just 1.
Or just lower.
Yeah. But if both teams are really bad, the monster moves.
Oh yeah, so if you fail, both teams fail and move forward, making it easier.
Yeah, so it kind of moves the game along.
Yeah. So overall, I had a lot of fun with this. We played it, and then I was like, I want to play that again, and it was cool.
Yeah, we do have a little section for word games on our shelves. Mom only likes to play word games, so we're going to keep this one. She did play with us and really liked it. The curses were kind of fun. That kind of added to it.
Since she likes this game, this game's probably going to get played a lot more than some of our other games.
Yep.
So I really just had a lot of fun with this one.
Yeah, if you like word games, if you have, play party games, have lots of people over, definitely check this one out.
Yeah. So, Trapwords by Czech Games Edition. Thank you for watching Brian's Guide Game. Please like us on our Facebook page. Send us a tweet at Brian's Guide Game. Visit our webpage, briansguidegame.com. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. I'm Brian, that's my dad. And I'll see you next time.